Welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and in today's video, I'm going to do my very best to bring you only the bullet points from everything we learned in 6 hours worth of live streams. It was divided into 3 parts, so if you haven't seen part 1, 2, or 3, you might want to go check those out because it's definitely a deeper dive than what I'm doing here today. But that was based on an 896-page document that came from the district attorney's office in Madeline Soto's case. So if you see the picture top right-hand corner, that's Madeline Soto. She just turned 13 on February 22nd of 2024. And by February 26th, she was gone. She was murdered by her mother's ex-boyfriend, who in some documents they refer to him as stepfather. I would not give him that title. Predator in the house. So far, he's the only one that's been arrested. He's been charged with over 60 counts of CSAM-related charges. He had allegedly been abusing Madeline since she was 8 years old, just based on evidence that they found on his phone, which is very scary. And they did detail a little bit more in those documents. And then he was also charged with her murder. So we've seen media interviews that Jen Soto, her mother, and this ex-boyfriend Stephan Sterns did. We've heard police interviews, the audio interviews. We've done deep dives, presentations, map time, everything so far. But this video is specifically for those of you who just don't have the time or maybe the patience. And I understand, don't worry, I also like videos that are a little bit shorter, even though I mostly do live streams and sometimes they are over an hour long, or in this case, each one was 2 hours long, so 6 hours of live streams. Me personally, if I looked at that, I'd be like, damn, only at 1.5 speed, okay? Which you can do, and only if it's time-stamped, which it is. So just know I'm always thinking of you, even if you're like, oh man, I'm so pressed for time, I don't want to watch all of this. You can watch it at 1.5 speed, and I've chaptered it all out for you. So still, after this video, if you haven't seen those, you might want to just listen to it in the background while you're cleaning or driving or doing something, kind of like a podcast or whatever, because I also there summarized as best I could the 896-page document. I highlighted things, I explained things, so hopefully you'll check that out. But if not, don't worry. We're going to go over all the things that we learned since that document came out, because there was definitely a few more details in there that we didn't know before. Okay, I've also made a little calendar for you so that we can do, a visual presentation of what the hell went on in this case so that we can understand just a little bit more. So firstly, this case happened in Florida, right?
Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share.
And so if we just zoom in here where it says Jen's home, that's Jen Soto, Madeline Soto's mother. I know a lot of people are looking at her with a side eye, like that's sus. And I must say, I have done my very best to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm still doing my best to, but with that document, it's become even more difficult. Even if you think of Jen Soto and Stephan Sterns had broken up in December of 2023, and he'd moved out and moved back in with his mom. He literally was the most useless 37-year-old predator, groomer, abuser ever, just leeching off his mom or Jen Soto. Even Madeline Soto said that he made her really uncomfortable. He was weird. He just hung around and ate all their food and made her uncomfortable. And it makes sense because he was trying to just the whole time connect with Madeline with, like little toys that he was building and all the childlike things he was doing, but really to get to Madeline because he's one of the worst predators we've heard of in a long time. It's so disgusting what he did. So please know that this case obviously comes with a trigger warning. But you know what really? There's 2 things that really stand out to me. And there's many. I'm just going to name 2. Okay, I could name like 20 right now. But let's say 2 that make me also feel concerned about Jen Soto and wonder if she is ever going to get arrested. I don't know. Number 1, she'd broken up with Stephan Sterns in December of 2023, and the reason they gave in the document is because his dad offered him a job, but then the job fell through, so he wanted to move back. That's just weird. It's not because he cheated, because that also, I don't know if she only just recently found out about that or what, but in the document, cheating is detailed as well. So he was dating Jen Soto. He was abusing her daughter, allegedly based on evidence found on his phone though. And he was also dating another lady who he bragged to about, yeah, I'm separated from my girlfriend, but I still sleep over sometimes. And he told that ex-girlfriend he sleeps in his ex-girlfriend's daughter's bed and sometimes gets a hard on and then needs to turn around in the bed, like, and giggling about it. And she was like, what the hell? So she broke up with him. Anyway, they broke up, Jen Soto and Stephan Sterns. This is now Jen's house, right, at these Venetian Bay Villages Condominiums Association. This little area, it looks like a very beautiful area. There's, there's all these tennis courts, basketball courts. There's a swimming pool here. I mean, it's Florida. It's beautiful. And Madeline was only 13 years old. She just turned 13. Point is, Mom, Stephan Sterns, broke up. Now, why, if they broke up, was Jen so comfortable just letting Stephan Sterns back in the home and then sending them both upstairs? That's literally what the document said. Jen Soto, Madeline's mother, sent them both upstairs, saying her job changed. She's tired. She's got anxiety. She needs a good night's rest. So she sent Stephan Sterns, her ex-boyfriend, and her 13-year-old daughter upstairs to sleep in the guest room, which was room number 4. Now, during the document deep dive, there were a lot of questions about this room number 4 because people are like, why is it room number 4? And is there really a chrome number 4 on the door? And what does that mean? Apparently, because of the area here and it being close to Disneyland, some of these apartments have doors that are numbered like that because people rent them out either on Airbnb or, during the holiday season, they can rent out different rooms. So the rooms had like chrome numbers on them. And Jen Soto did rent out rooms because at the time when Madeline was murdered, there were roommates in the house. There was a lady with her 15-year-old son. There were other roommates as well. So she did rent them out and there were numbers on the doors. But to think that you're just going to be fine with your ex-boyfriend just coming over for what? On a Sunday night? That was on the 25th. We're going to go over that calendar now. On a Sunday night and just like walk into the house, get Madeline ready for bed, as he said. Oh, man. And then just send them upstairs. Like, go upstairs and you sleep there because I need a good night's rest. So I'm sleeping downstairs. Like, what? So she was okay with her ex-boyfriend and daughter just going to sleep together. The document did say that sometimes all three slept in the bed. But generally, she said she used to be hyper-vigilant. But over the years, seeing how well Stephan Sterns got on with her daughter, she was fine with it, with them just sleeping in a bed together. That's just never okay. So that's number 1 that really stands out to me. And the second red flag for me is that at no time during the police interviews, Jen Soto doing the media interviews, all of that, did she mention that Madeline Soto, her daughter, had asthma and that she needed an inhaler. Now, this is something that was revealed in the document by one of Madeline's teachers, in fact, a PE teacher, that talked about her struggling in PE classes, sometimes having to sit out, and sometimes she would walk with her to go and get her inhaler. Why was her mother not concerned about her need to breathe? You know what I'm saying? In those media interviews, that is a giant red flag. That's probably the biggest red flag that we uncovered in those documents, because she said, when asked directly, does Madeline have any, health issues or anything? She said, well, no, but she was diagnosed ADHD and she could be on the autism spectrum. But then recently they said she's not on the autism spectrum, but just has traits. She went off like that. At no time mentioned her medication that she was allegedly taking, that Madeline said she stopped taking on February 14th. And at no time did she mention that she had asthma. I mean, don't you think that is just the biggest red flag? So that's where the benefit of the doubt starts really wearing off for me, for Jen Soto. And there's many other reasons, as we know, as many of you know. Okay, so, and we are all entitled to our own opinions. Of course, don't fight with each other in the comments or fight with me because, we're just talking about a case that we, the public, don't know everything about, but we're starting to learn a whole lot more. All right, so now I'm going to bring up my little calendar that I've made for you because it'll make things a little bit easier to visualize. Okay, so here is a calendar that I've made for us so that we can visualize. I don't know, this helps me so much, so I hope it helps some of you as well, because sometimes I'm like, which day and where and what, this will just like forever stick in my mind now once we've got something to see like this. So of course on the top it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're starting on February 14th, which was a Wednesday. Now on that day, Madeline had told her friends that she had stopped taking her medication. They didn't know exactly why that day. I don't think there's any special meaning to it being on Valentine's Day or something, but she just decided, yeah, she's done with her medication. Now, the documents did not specify what medication Madeline was on. And when you really hear it all, it starts sounding pretty scary, because Stephan Sterns had told friends and, people that he'd actually been in high school with and everything, that he was addicted to Adderall and Ativan and all sorts of things. So there's quite a bit of room for speculation that he was drugging her, like sedating her at night, especially because he said on the very last night that she was known to be alive, that he got her ready for bed, which would be her having a shower and taking her nightly medication, is what he said. So that's a scary thought, because a lot of the abuse that was also documented in this 896-page document said that it appeared the victim was asleep, and it all looked like it happened in the early hours of the morning, around 3 a.m. or so. That's scary when you also pair that with, at the police press conferences, them saying that they believe Madeline was murdered in the early hours of the morning. So if we put this all together, I hope that you're following. If Madeline decided whatever medication she was told to take, that she's now done with it because she's so tired of being tired, she stopped taking it, right? Now imagine if it was the predator, Stephan Sterns' routine to sedate her, wait until like 3 a.m, and then abuse her, maybe obviously when she's not even awake. Because it says appears the victim is sleeping when he's doing all these things and filming all these things, right? Now if she stopped taking her medication and he came over on February 25th, and Jen Soto sent Stephan and Madeline upstairs, but she was not on her medication. You see what I'm saying? She may have reacted very differently to what he was used to. Maybe she got really upset. Maybe she said, I'm going to tell people what you're doing, whatever it is. And that led to him murdering her. I don't know, but I think it's quite plausible that things were different that night on February 25th, because she was no longer sedated. And the reason I say that as well is because her friends at school said that while she was a little bit more moody, a little bit snappy, she had way more energy, and she was doing well at school all of a sudden, because she was really just scraping by, getting D's and F's the whole time, showing no interest, falling asleep in class. Lots of teachers were interviewed, counselors, all of that, friends, and they said suddenly she had more energy, she was doing better at school. She actually won Student of the Week on February 16th, which must have made her so excited. Then it was that following week here, between the 19th or so there, leading up to her birthday, because at the press conference, police said about a week before, right, she went missing. Now we know she was murdered. But about a week before, she had texted one of her friends saying when she turns 13, she's going to run away and live in the woods. So as you can see, she stops taking her medication, schoolwork improves, she's got more energy, and she's like, I'm getting out of here. That's interesting to me. It's as if without the sedation, her survival instinct really kicked in, and she was like, I'm done with this, right? So, yes, I don't know if Stephan Sterns, the predator, was quite expecting that. I worry about that. Okay, I worry about many things, of course, in this case, but that is what happened on February 14th. February 16th, she won this Student of the Week award, and it sounded like, they said it was like a door painting project, and the students who were working on it included, of course, Madeline, and they would come in early, to school and leave a bit later because they were busy, I think, painting and decorating this door. And the message was spread love and kindness, which Madeline was part of, and that just makes the case just even more sad, because she was certainly not shown love and kindness at home from everything we're hearing. Okay, now we fast forward to Thursday, February 22nd. That day, that's her actual birthday. That's the day that she turned 13 years old. But she told her friends that usually she got money for her birthday, but she was very disappointed with what she got that year. which plausibly, when you hear the whole document, one could speculate her mother didn't give her a birthday gift that year is what it sounds like. Or way less than usual or something. Right? It sounded like that birthday was different. Remember, Stephan Sterns wasn't there. It was Madeline and her mom living at that house that I showed you in the Venetian Bay Villages, right? Jen said that Stephan had visited 2 to 3 times between December of 2023 when they broke up and February 25th of 2024. I don't know if that's true or not because she seems like she can lie quite well based on everything we're seeing. But anyway, if we now pair it that was her birthday, right? And she didn't have a birthday party with her mother or Stephan Sterns. Her birthday party actually happened on February 25th, a Sunday, at her grandmother's house. So now, if we look at everything that everyone said, Stephan Sterns said, and I wonder where exactly he heard that. Did he hear it along the way or from a friend or what? Because I'm not certain that he knew that Madeline stopped taking her medication based on what I said earlier. Now, he said that Madeline had been staying with her grandparents for most of the week, he means leading up to February 25th, and that she had stopped taking her medication. Side note, Jen Soto's mother, I think her name's Yolanda, does not like Stephan Sterns, and that was documented. So the snark was on, okay? So if Madeline was actually staying at her grandmother's house that whole week, let's say, well, that also makes sense that maybe Jen Soto wasn't very involved in her daughter's 13th birthday. She wasn't even at the party. Jen Soto did not attend her own daughter's 13th birthday party. And obviously neither did Stephan Sterns. So I would speculate, based on everything we know, that Madeline was already at her grandmother's house. Because there's a lot of talk now about who dropped Madeline off at her party on Sunday. Some say it was Stephan Sterns, but that timeline doesn't add up based on everything we've just learned from the document. So I think she was already staying there a bit, even if it was for the weekend or from the Thursday. I'm not too sure from which day. Hopefully one day we'll find out all those details. But yes, she turned 13 on February 22nd. I really hope that people in her life were kind to her, and by that I mean her friends, extended family, right? Because it doesn't sound like her own mother, and definitely not Stephan Sterns, were very nice to her. So then there was the weekend, okay? And of course, Thursday, Madeline was at school. Friday, Madeline was at school, and she would have her school issued a laptop in a backpack. She had this gray backpack with hibiscus flowers that we know about because that's what Stephan Sterns put in the trash compactor on the 26th. Okay, so it's kind of her birthday weekend. It's still a little bit unclear what's going on there, but what I find interesting from these documents is that both Jen Soto and Stephan Sterns are unclear about when Stephan arrived at the house. Both of them say they're not sure if it was like Saturday night, which would be February 24th, or Sunday morning. And I don't know why they have to lie about that. Well, we do and we don't know, you know what I mean? But both of them are like, I don't know, talking to police because they had multiple interviews. Like maybe it was on Saturday night. Maybe it was sometime on Sunday. But in reality, based on what roommates are saying and based on what they later said in police interviews, Stephan Sterns drove from his mother's house in Northport, Florida to Jen Soto's house and arrived at around 8:25 p.m. on Sunday, February 25th. Now, Sunday, February 25th was Madeline Soto's birthday party, and it was hosted by her grandmother. And she had a beautiful cake. We know the picture well. She had a beautiful blue dress on. And remember how Jen Soto, her own mother, said the last conversation they had was after Maddie came home from her birthday party? And she was so happy with her gifts. She had such a great birthday party. Well, that turns out it's a lie as well. Because Madeline Soto's best friend was interviewed. And she said that Maddie was actually really disappointed with her birthday party because she said, I advertised it really well. Why did more people not show up? Not many friends show up. I believe it was 2 friends that showed up to her birthday party. And she was really upset about that, obviously. She just turned 13. She wanted a nice big party. She wanted to celebrate with her friends. And not as many people as she wanted to show up showed up. And those who did show up, she actually told her best friend, like, and they didn't even bring gifts. Like, where are the gifts? Where's the love, basically? And I completely understand that, because I don't think the love was in the home, you know? So now it's as if, you know, that need must be met elsewhere, not in the home. Now it's up to her friends and extended family to really just like lift her up. But obviously, you know, they didn't know. They didn't know. No one knew what was going on in that home, except perhaps Jen Soto, and that's still in question. Some people still say maybe she truly knew absolutely nothing. Others say that's not possible, and I'm more in that camp, because there was apparently in room number 4 a tripod. Yes, a tripod, a phone tripod in the room, and masturbation cream. So like, I don't know, man. Unless Stephan Sterns is like bring it with him in a bag, and like, oh no, it's just a horrible thought. Like unpacking the tripod and the cream and stuff. No. We don't want to go there. But anyway, yes, Maddie Soto's birthday party was that day. So isn't it so strange how Jen Soto says, oh yeah, so Jen Soto says her sister, Madeline's aunt, dropped her off back home, right? Now, if I just for a second make this smaller and show you the map, I'll show you. Here is Jen Soto's home, and the grandma's home is actually just north of it, very close to the school. Here is the grandma's house where she had the birthday party. This is the Hunters Creek Middle School, where Stephan Sterns lies a lot about driving around the school and dropping Maddie off, and, you know, at the church, and all sorts of things that we've heard before. If you haven't heard it before, I hope you'll check out some of my other episodes. I've also got videos for you where I have recapped the entire timeline, right? Today, we're really recapping what we learned from that document. But Jen Soto says that her sister dropped her off back home. And Jen says she wasn't at home because she started a new job and had new working hours. And so she only got home later. It sounds like around 10 p.m. or something like that. Stephan Sterns, however, after Maddie was dropped off at home, it sounds like she was dropped off and she was alone at home for a little bit. And then shortly after that, Stephan Sterns arrived, you know, around 8:30 at night. And so there he was, predator again, back in the house alone with 13-year-old Madeline Soto. So already there, I would speculate things were different. Things could have gone very wrong already there. And I wonder about Jen Soto's story, because her story is she came home from work. She spoke to her daughter, which again, that's quite late, don't you think? For Maddie to be awake at 11 o'clock at night. What is she doing? Like waiting up to talk to her mom? I don't think so, based on what we've heard about the relationship with her mom. A friend said she cried often at school, and it would be about her mom. It would be about her mom saying she didn't clean things properly. Her mom was fighting with her. She described her mom as bipolar and all sorts of things, which would just be a teen like throwing out terms, even though Jen Soto did say publicly on social media she shared her diagnosis there. But it was definitely not a very happy relationship with her and her mom, right? So if she's, what is Madeline doing? Like, you know, is she, just struggle to think of her like hanging out with Stephan Sterns, although she was very close to him. She did tell her friends, you know, she was very close to him. They texted all the time. They FaceTimed all the time. So there's that coercive control and predator control going on. There is a relationship there, even though he's obviously the predator and she's the victim. You know what I'm saying? So she's surviving all of that, and it seemed to be an adult, you know, being there for her, as you said. He was always there for her when she needed someone. Yeah, but what about when she's sleeping? What are you doing then, bro? What are you doing then? Anyway, so when Jen Soto came home, she says that she spoke to Maddie and, you know, about her birthday party and her gifts and everything, and it was so wonderful, and she said goodnight, and that was it. But later, she then lied to police and said she saw her daughter get dressed that morning for school. And she described her wearing a dark green hoodie, black shorts, and white Crocs. Well, Madeline Soto's body was found on March 1st, and she was wearing a dark green hoodie. But she was wearing jeans, not black shorts. There were black shorts found in the house and in the car. One of Maddie's Crocs was found in No. One of Madeline Soto's Crocs was found in the house, and one was found in the trash compactor that Stephan Sterns had put in there. So even if Jen Soto in all the time from February 26th to March 1st just looked through the house, you'd be like, holy crap, there's only one of her shoes here. Where's her other shoe? You know what I mean? Like, that's such a red flag. Oh my word. Anyway, let's just say, I'm trying to keep on track here. Jen Soto said she saw her daughter get dressed that morning around 8. That's not possible because already at like 7:30 in the morning, the police say that Stephan was seen on surveillance in his vehicle, leaving the complex with Madeline strapped into the front seat, and they said they believe she was already deceased. Now we heard from the documents she was slumped over to her left and her mouth was wide open, and I'm pretty sure they could see from the video she was not breathing. Okay, now she must have died in the early morning hours that day, which would be February 26th, because guess what? Guess what Stephan Sterns did that day? So now we're going to go back to the map so I can show you this quickly. So, are you following? February 25th, birthday party. Maddie's aunt drops off at home. Stephan Sterns arrives. He's getting her ready for bed, which he says shower time, and taking her nightly medication, which I highly doubt she took. And then Jen Soto comes home. They talk about the party. Jen Soto says, I need a good night's sleep. You two go upstairs and you go to sleep. And so Maddie and Stephan go to room number 4 and they allegedly go to sleep. By the next day, in the early morning hours of the morning, by 7:35, Madeline Soto is dead in Stephan Sterns' vehicle. Question, how did they get Madeline's body in the vehicle? That is a question. It's a very good question. How did no camera see it? No ring cam? No anyone? Did he pull into a garage? I don't know. But he obviously wanted to strap her into the front seat and drive around with her for a bit, which is a very scary thought, so that she would be seen on camera. Like, look, I'm taking her to school. If anyone spots him on camera, see, I took her to school. Now, here's the thing. Stephan says that he left the home and they were very early. Remember, they were killing time, or they had time to kill. He said that a lot, and police noted that, like in italics, like time to kill, like holy crap, this guy's saying this a lot. He said that he was driving her to this Hunters Creek Middle School, but he dropped her off at the church the block before or so. So there's the school, and the church is right here, and he says he dropped her off there because she was so embarrassed of his vehicle, which the embarrassment is possible, not only of Stephan Sterns, the predator, but also maybe his vehicle. I don't know, it was an old Lincoln, and it was actually his dad's car. Now, he says that we know about his bullshit stories, but the thing is, he actually had deceased Madeline in his vehicle in the front seat, strapped in, okay? And driving her body around is the truth we know now, based on those documents. Driving her body around, pretending, he said he did a U-turn somewhere here by the church, pretending to go to McDonald's. He says, he makes up a whole story. She was sleepy most of the time. And then he says that he was going to take her to McDonald's, but she didn't want to go. But then he went anyway and gave her a Danish pastry. And we were like, what? None of that happened. But here's another question that I would have. Is you see... Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to turn it. I actually just want to move it. You see this 9271 South John Young Parkway. This is a Holiday Inn Vacation Club headquarters building. Let's see if we can put the Google man here. Let's look at it. How about that? Okay, so there it is. That is not a hotel. It is headquarters for the Holiday Inn Vacation Club. Now, you know what I'm asking myself? Ooh, and this will be another big red flag. Is if Jen Soto knew about that building at all, meaning because she was a vacation planner for Disney and had just started a new job. Can you imagine if she knew about this and even suggested that Stephan Sterns goes there? Now, why did he go there? Maybe you don't know yet. So Stephan Sterns drove in there at it was 9:40 in the morning. So just think about that, because they left the complex at 7:30 in the morning, but then returned again to the complex. Then he went to the trash compactor. He put in the trash a white bag containing Madeline Soto's backpack, school-issued laptop, and one crock, okay? And her maths books. Put that in the trash compactor at the complex. Then he left again, still with her strapped in the front seat. Then he went here. He talks about riding around, going to a vape shop and a comic book store, and the vape shop was closed and all kinds of crap. But then he went here, and he drove in to the parking garage at 9:40 in the morning. Okay, and then he goes to the top floor, backs into a parking area, and takes Madeline's, they say, limp body, which is why I say I think she was murdered in the early morning hours, which also matches to all the times that they showed in the document that he sexually abused her. It appeared the victim was sleeping, is what they say. Many of those occasions say that. Not all, maybe, because other ones have terrible words like sexual performance of a child. They really need to change that phrasing, sexual abuse of a child. But appears the victim sleeping, so 3 a.m., right? So it takes 6 to 8 hours for rigor mortis to fully set in. So what they say is he went in there, he took Madeline's body out of the car from the front seat and carried her limp body and put the body in the trunk. Now, here's another scary thought. What did he do after that, right? Okay, just do this. What did he do after that? He says, and so does Jen Soto. Jen Soto said that she had a blood appointment, a doctor's appointment at 10:15, and in between 9:30, when Stephan was there, you see, he was there, between 9:30 and 10:15, she was calling Stephan, calling. I don't know why. But he calls her back at 10:18, even though a doctor's appointment was at 10:15. Okay? And he said, oh, sorry, I forgot my phone at home, which that story also makes no sense because at what point is he calling her back? But whatever, maybe he already got back to the house. Now remember, Madeline's body's in the trunk. So this is like what we realized while reading this, like, wait, what? So he went to this, let's just make it face north again, hold on. There we go. So he pretended to take it to school and went back to the complex because he forgot his gate clicker, okay? And security interacted with him that morning. So while Madeline, deceased, was strapped in the front passenger seat. So that's scary for the security to think back about. Anyway, then he left the complex again and he went here, moved her body to the trunk, went back to the house, went back to Jen's house. So that technically means while he's back at the house and Jen arrives back there at around 11 o'clock in the morning, that her daughter's body was in the trunk of his car and he was there. And guess what they said they talked about? When asked, well, what did you talk about? She said, well, he got back and I asked him, what happened? What kind of a question is, what happened? Another red flag, I'm just saying. What happened? Oh, okay. Anyway, so she then says that she left the house at 2:30 so that she could pick Madeline up from school, but she waited in the front of the line until 4:10 because the school would come out at 4, but they live very close. It's really not a far drive. So I'm like, 2:30? So she left at 2:30 to go there to wait in the car until 4 o'clock, the bell rings, oh my word, Madeline's not coming out, and then she's like freaking out and calling 911, which we know she didn't, her family members did. Going to her mother's office space, which they all met at, and there's a lot. There's so much there. There's so much I could talk about at every turn here. Trying to keep it on track. 11 o'clock, they're both there. She's saying what happened. Who knows how that conversation went. He then leaves the home to run a couple of errands. You know, he's on a mission that day. What are the errands? Vape shop. Going to a couple of Targets. Who knows what? Why are you going to a couple of Targets? Couple of Targets. Like I think he called it House of Cards because I remember it sounded like the series, like a shop called House of Cards or something, and a comic book store. Just like driving around, he cannot answer police when they ask him, well, there's like an hour and a half missing. What were you doing? No, he doesn't know. He was cruising around. What was he really doing? What he was really doing is driving all the way out here to this Hickory Tree Road where he actually got a flat tire. So he drove all the way to this Alligator Lake area. I think it was about an hour away. He drove here, and eventually, if we zoom in here, Madeline's body was found right here. Okay, where I'm pointing now. And this guy, they had a flat tire. There were tire fragments found here and here. Okay, where I'm pointing to now. If you could see this pointer. So, this guy was driving out there looking for somewhere to put Madeline's body. What I truly worry about is that he put a body out there and went back out there because the document says he took Jen's car the night after Madeline was last seen. So he took Jen's car on February 27th and 28th at night. At like 3 in the morning, okay? Between 3 and 4 in the morning. Where'd he go? Why did canines react to Jen's car as the final point? Why? What's going on there? I don't know, man. But anyway, They found Madeline's body out here, as you can see from my calendar. Again, I'll bring it here. It's on March 1st. Okay? But we're still here on February 26th. On this day, he's going out here. Witnesses see him pretending to change a tire is what they thought he was doing, because he was kind of standing around with a tire iron looking really awkward, looking weird. They're like, what is this guy doing? But it does turn out he must have had a flat tire. It wasn't just a ruse, because there were tire fragments found around here. He was out here for quite some time and returned back to the complex to visit with Jen at around, I think it was 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the evening. And then he says he took a whole bunch of tranquilizers because he was just such a mess. Why? Why such a mess? But still, to leave Madeline's body just here is the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and we've seen some pretty dumb criminals, but that makes me wonder if he was going to go back and move her body somewhere else. And the reason I say that is because this address is listed quite often on the documents. And if you remember, I can't see this abandoned house or something now, but I don't know if it's this. The point is, when we first saw the drone footage, the police had zoned in on like an abandoned house. They were looking there, and I was wondering, how does that abandoned house relate to where her body was actually found? And what I'm thinking is maybe canines reacted to the house first, and then later Stephan had moved her body here. That is a very scary thought. Now, Madeline was found out here. In the document they detail, she was found lying on her left side with her knees bent in almost a fetal position. Oh, that is just so sad. A 13-year-old girl. And allegedly, this is a rumor, okay? And it is shared by Court TV. So they've got credibility, but I just want to be careful with it because it's a rumor. There is a rumor that Madeline Soto died from strangulation. There were other rumors in the past that she had died from blunt force trauma, which is why I'm saying be very careful with rumors, because the district attorney, as well as the police, said that they are not going to share how she died because she's a minor, because of laws in Florida, and because the family doesn't consent. So the fact that it's like people are talking about it now, I'm just not sure. I'm not shocked if that is how she died, because it sounds like something that someone like Stephan Sterns might do based on what we know about him so far and his interests and things like that. But I'm just not sure. But yes, she was found out here at this Hickory Tree Road. And he was driving around there. The photo that they actually shared of his dad's car, that Lincoln MKZ, that one, had a spare tire on. Now, remember, that was February 26th. So that day, Jen Soto says she went to the school. She was waiting in line. Wow, Madeline didn't come out from school. That's weird. So what... This is just so ridiculous. What do you think Jen did on February 26th when she was waiting for her daughter to come out from the school? Do you think that she parked the car somewhere and thought, holy crap, I'm holding up the line. Let me just park somewhere else and go look for my daughter? No. She emailed the teacher and then she drove around. She drove around looking for her. Is she walking around? Where is she? And then she went to her mother's office, which was close to the school. And then she called her mom to say, hey, is she there? No, she's not there. Okay, I'm on my way there. And then she went there. Drove around a bit and then I guess went home. But later, maybe she just stayed there at the mother's office because Stephan Sterns was there later too, which is where the police body cam is from that we recently watched together. So that's also on the playlist. I would highly recommend checking it out. We looked at it because of, my word, that body language and the things the two of them were saying. It reminds us a little bit of Trezell and Jacqueline West, of just like, so what's going on? They're like, okay, we took her to school and then dropped her over to church and this and this. And Jen keeps saying we took her to school, but she apparently was not even involved in taking her to school. She was sleeping in and then going to a doctor's appointment. So like, what? Her whole timeline makes no sense at all. But okay, it just sounds very scripted, the narrative. And it's not like, what's going on? Oh my word, my daughter's missing. No. She's just like... We took her to school, and then this or this. She wasn't there, and I don't know, and I think someone took her. Like, Anyway, so they were hanging out at, which is also weird, Jen Soto and Stephan Sterns at Jen's mother's insurance business. They're just hanging out there instead of at home. Not telling anyone that Madeline has asthma. Not at the home, in case Madeline shows up at the home. Now, they say she wouldn't even know how to get home, which is just absolute nonsense. She has no idea where we live. It's so stupid. Oh, my word. So anyway, the police interviews and everything happened there, the body cam that we've recently seen, that was February 26th, right? By the Tuesday, there were media interviews done, and we got to see that as well. And they stuck to the story as much as they could, of course. And by February 28th, Stephan Sterns was arrested. Now, something else that we found out from this document was that on February 26th, Stephan Sterns did not only factory reset his phone by mistake once, but twice. That's not from his words. That's from them forensically analyzing that phone. He factory reset the phone twice, but the dumbass still had a Google Drive, all the CSAM material and everything. Like, this guy is a really dumb criminal. We like it when they're dumb. Most of them are dumb, but like really, like Stephan Sterns, like what the hell? Point is, when the police were at the house, right, interviewing them as well on the Tuesday, because there were multiple interviews, Stephan Sterns actually showed them around. You see, here's the vehicles. Just don't pay attention to the donut wheel, like the donut tire, the spare tire. Don't look at that, because I just suffered a flat tire yesterday. Made a lot of rookie mistakes. That's what he said. And obviously when police are like, when they're like, don't look at it, they're like, we're going to look at it. Anyway, so he factory reset his phone twice that day, and allegedly in the time frame when he was chatting it up at home with Jen Soto, which is so weird. February 27th, media interviews, we got to see those. February 28th, Stephan Sterns arrested because even though he factory reset his phone twice with a push notification, he says, which is a lie, nah. The CSAM material, which means child sexual abuse material, on his phone was enough to arrest him on. There's a separate trial for that, and there's over 60 charges. Each charge represents 10 or more photos and videos, and it's all horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying. I have a video where I read through the probable cause affidavit and the charges, if you want to see that. But please brace yourself, know that that definitely comes with a trigger warning. It's horrifying. What I did was I paused so that you can read the charges, and I scrolled through how many there are and when they happen. We even went through all the dates listed there and on average which days and times and whatever they happened as well. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out too. But yeah, he was arrested swiftly on February 28th, and he's just like so meek, you know. He's just like, oh no, like a little boy. But it's not. It's all an act, of course. Just like, what a predator. Oh my goodness. So he was arrested then before Maddie's body was even found. And then, because of press conferences to talk about this arrest, because of that press conference and the police looking for tips of anyone who saw anything in this area, this Hickory Tree Road area, yeah, there were witnesses that called in and said, you know what? I saw a guy like next to his vehicle, kind of changing a tire. I'm not sure what he was doing out here. They went out there and they found Madeline Soto's body on the afternoon of March 1st of 2024. Unfortunately, with all the pictures that were taken, the sheriff was there also taking pictures, and unfortunately he shared one of those pictures in an Instagram gallery, an unrelated gallery. Some award ceremony, I don't know, for elderly people or something. I can't remember what it was about. And then in it, like picture number 5 type thing was a picture of Maddie's body. Like what? Now, that brings me to this question. What was she found wearing? A dark green hoodie, jeans. They didn't talk about the Crocs, of course not. There was one Croc in the compactor, one at the house. I think they said, and socks. When did she put on jeans? Because that question alone also helps us with the timeline. Because Jen Soto and Stephan Sterns were adamant she was wearing black shorts. Her teacher said, well, she wore that often to school, the green hoodie and the black shorts and the Crocs. Yeah, we know that outfit. When did she put on jeans? Or did they or he dress her in different clothing? Did he put jeans on her? Or did she actually get up and get ready for school that morning? Let's say if she got up at 7, did she get up and get ready for school? Did she then say, I'm going to tell on you today or whatever it is, and Stephan decided, no, you're not, or what? I just wonder, because, I don't know, things can't get more sinister. But if she was murdered in the early hours of the morning, I just wonder, why was she not in PJs, let's say? Why was she wearing jeans? You know, like, where's her birthday dress? Why do I ask that? Because in the document they said in one of the areas where Stephan Sterns was seen driving around in a wooded area, a dress and underwear was found. So along with animal bones, but they said the animal bones, obviously they tested it, it's not human, not related, but like a dress and underwear. They also found like a little yellow cloth in the complex near the pond or whatever. They found a grey top and all sorts of things. They found balled up gloves and stuff, but we just don't know if that's related or not. That's just documented, right? So, yeah, Stephan Sterns, February 28th, arrested. About a month later, it actually was a little bit longer. Can't remember the exact date he was charged with murder. I think it was in April. Then he was charged with Madeline Soto's murder. And still, he's the only one that's been arrested. I just wonder, like many of you, if there's going to be any other arrests. Now, let me just think if I've covered everything. I covered most things that we learned in this document, particularly, I think the most shocking things for me personally, and let me know if you remember anything that I didn't mention here. But for me, the most shocking things would be Stephan Sterns going to a parking garage to move Madeline's body after driving around with her deceased body for a couple of hours, moving her body from the passenger seat to the trunk. And then another shocking thing for me would be they didn't mention she had asthma. For some people, it's shocking that the friend says that she was late on one of her menstrual cycles, but she had it still. And I just don't read too much into that because she had it and she was only 13 years old. It's not like perfectly on time, super regular at such a young age. You know what I mean? It's different for everyone, but that could change also with stress and with everything. So that, though, we learned as well. I was pretty shocked to learn about, that a lot of the abuse was when the victim appeared to be sleeping. Yeah, that's scary stuff. And also that there was a tripod and masturbation cream in the room. And that there was like a makeshift bedroom downstairs. And that's usually where Jen says her and Madeline slept. So I think Jen was prioritizing renting out the rooms, not putting okay, let's forget about her for a second. Her daughter's needs first. You know what I mean? Like making sure just that income is coming in and no one has to survive, but still it just feels a bit like let's rent out all the rooms and we'll just have like a makeshift room downstairs where there was also apparently a tripod found somewhere around I don't know, man. It's just, I was taken aback by some of the information we learned, even though it's already been so horrifying. This poor girl, 13 years old, abused since she was about 8 years old. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 5 years. And Jen says she dated Stephan on and off for about 7 years. So, yes, that is pretty much, I think I've pretty much summarized everything that I wanted to show you today. If you look at this map and you see where it says the hotel that Stephan stayed at, the reason that there was this hotel key log listed on Discovery and they looked at surveillance from a hotel is because the police told Jen Soto and Stephan, you're going to have to go and stay somewhere else. So they stayed in a hotel. What surprised me is that Stephan Sterns' dad drove through and also stayed at the hotel. Don't know if he was like their ride or whatever. I don't even know why. No idea. That was interesting. Very interesting. Also because Stephan Sterns' dad is apparently the only one that's calling him in jail. It's interesting. But they stayed at this hotel and the surveillance of them leaving and stuff, which is also why they know that Stephan was driving around in Jen's car at like 3 and 4 in the morning doing who knows what. Who knows what he was doing. So that was also quite interesting. If there's anything else that I can think of, I will let you know. Make sure you follow my community tab. I know if you're watching on a TV, that's a little bit difficult to access, I think. Some people don't see it on their TV. But on any other device, it's normally like home, videos, shorts, live streams, playlists, and then community tab, right? And there I often post some updates there. Check out my YouTube shorts as well. Check out my playlist on this case because we're definitely, as you can see, we're deep diving this case. And I just really hope that I brought you a summary of those documents in far less time. A sixth of the time, even less than a sixth of the time. An eighth of the time than watching all the live streams if you don't have the time. But I would still highly recommend for full context and to hear everything that was in that document, teachers' interviews, family interviews, obviously what Jen Soto said and Stephan Sterns said, like example, when they showed Jen Soto evidence, photos of the abuse, like of, Stephan doing stuff to her daughter, she said she doesn't recognize anything. They said it's as if she was in denial, just like, what is this? I have no idea what that is. But yet in separate photos, when they only showed photos of, okay, trigger warning, when they showed photos of Stephan's hand or penis, she was able to recognize that. But as soon as then her daughter's involved, she's like, nope, I don't recognize any of that, none of it. So that was interesting as well. And to see the police list all the inconsistencies and just everything that we discovered there, it's definitely worth a watch if you do want the full context. But I really hope that you got the bullet points that maybe you were looking for in one video. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. We're all hoping for full justice for Madeline Soto. And of course, the state has now said that they are pursuing the death penalty. So there'll be 2 trials, one for the CSAM charges and one for capital murder. A death penalty case for murder charges. And of course, if they find him guilty for all the CSAM charges, which I think will be pretty easy to do based on the evidence on his phone, which is also why he doesn't show up to any of his court appearances that he needs to be at. Yeah, because I think if the other inmates find out exactly what he did, even though I'm sure they can, yeah, he's in a lot of trouble as an inmate at the jail. But anyway, the point is the CSAM trial is first, and I'm not going to say the dates now because they tend to shift, right? Things tend to get delayed or whatever. I'll keep you posted on it. Just make sure that if you want to follow that with me and the updates in this case, make sure you subscribe with your notifications on so that you can get those and come and listen to the news with us. But the CSAM trial will happen first, and then the capital murder trial will happen later. So even if they find him guilty just on the one trial for all those charges, yeah, he's going to be away forever and ever. Hopefully never, ever out again. That alone would be life without parole, from what we've been reading. So, yes, I hope there will be full justice for Madeline Soto. And by that, I also mean if anybody else needs to be cuffed, okay, cuff them. None of us will be shocked. None of us will be shocked, okay? If no one else ever gets cuffed, okay. Lots of lessons to be learned there then, right? Like really be very careful who you date, who you allow into your home, especially when you have young kids, and how much time they spend with your kids and how they groom and love bomb and everything, you and your kids. It's very scary. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share, not because you like, the topic necessarily. It's grim stuff, I know, but it's because you like the way that I present true crime, or you appreciate this video and you want others to see it so they can get the bullet points. And leave your comments below. I would love to hear from you, especially if you did watch those live streams. Tell me what you remember, what stood out to you that maybe I didn't mention in this video. But those were the main bullet points. Okay, everyone. I'll see you again very soon. Stay safe.